is for further consultation. Even the military leader of military background at the time had become a Democrat. Even him, a soldier, towering figure, successful coup leader, feared the power of the people. So you have the numbers. I mean, you have everything. You have the numbers. You have the intellect. You have the issues are there. But I think that the problem with the current generation is the distractions. Distractions. I see you people write on social media, oh, Ghana, you can't be bored. All you need is money for data. And you are happy. And you are happy. And these days, people even have the courage to text me, oh, Honorable MP, we need data. You know. Some small momo for data. We don't want to be bored in Ghana. I mean, so you just want to laugh your sorrows away and think that when you finish laughing, all your sorrows will be gone permanently. So please, we need a new mindset. We need a new orientation. And we must revive, rekindle the true Ghanaian spirit. The Ghanaian spirit is not a spirit of timidity. We would not have fought the slave raiders and defeated them. We would not have fought these colonialists and defeated them. We would not have even gone to South Africa to wage the battle of Quito Carnival in Angola and defeat the apartheid movement. We have always been a brave people. We have always been warriors. Did Yas Antoine not come from amongst us when even men were hiding? Recently, Sophia Akufo, when men could not find their voices. See the impact that she is making at her age. How do you young ladies feel? How do you feel when it's your grandmother who has to come out from retirement to come and be raising the issues that you should be raising and you should be fighting? You are enjoying your data. So please, the distractions. And I think that governments are very, very happy. I was reading the latest US Human Rights Report. And they say the only good thing going for Ghana so far is that the government has not interfered with internet at all. Never, not 1 minute. The government is happy how the youth are using internet. Elsewhere, in Turkey, during when Christian Achu died, you people don't know. But you can go and go and read on it. There was so much outreach about how the response was going that they had to even control the internet. They had to block it because the anger, the youth said they cannot accept. If it was Ghana, somebody called Bombs will make a joke out of the whole situation, how somebody was dying, how somebody's leg was hanging somewhere. You know, we make light weather of everything. Even matters that are not laughable matters. And I don't know when that became a Ghanaian attitude. They say, oh, Ghana, there you can't be bored. Meanwhile, anytime they are ranking, last week I read the latest ranking, the happiest nations in the world. We don't feature. So even though there's all of this comic relief and data, people are laughing all over, the world doesn't understand why we should be laughing. So they don't even rank us. We don't feature. Finland is number one, is the happiest nation. I think 6 years consecutively they have won. That's where real happiness is. They solve their problems. And you know, they always top in the maths and science tests. Those Scandinavian countries, they do so well. Their education is fantastic. The train can take you everywhere. You don't even need to own a car. Most of them just have bicycles. They are happy people. Crime rate is so low. They never have a shaman, soldiers descend. They are beating people up. That too becomes a laughing matter. You go and see some TikTok videos. Come and see how the old men were running. Yeah, then they laugh. Your rights are being violated. Your dignity is being stolen. And then Ghanaian youth are laughing. Oh, you can't be bored in Ghana. The data is good, you know. So No wonder all the human rights reports, they say Ghana, the internet is flowing. Why? No, the government doesn't want to interfere. You people don't know even the power of the internet, what it can do to raise awareness, to mobilize the people. And it's all, I don't want to use the word, but really, maybe I should use it. Jiminkwa. May the Lord save us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Samuel Okujato Ablakwa, MP for North Tong. Now, I'm sure you have questions, and so we will activate. You have 3 for now?
Yeah, just 3.
Activate the Q&A session. Kweku, can we take the questions?
Yes, just 3. 3 of them. Just 3 questions.
Please, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Please, I want to use this platform to voice out few words. I know that this foundation is mostly for the youth, but since widowhood rights is aimed at women, please, I would love you and your team to tackle it. As you were talking about discrimination, I want you to do something about widowhood rights. I know that we all think that in this 21st century, those things do not exist. But some women in remote areas and some villages suffer from these so-called rights and cultures, of which we have no idea of, which later end up in having mental and health problems, just to prove that they are innocent. Whilst men whose wives die are not given the same treatment, but are rather pampered and advised to take another wife in place of the deceased. Even though I'm not saying that men should go through what our widows are going through, or in the name of discrimination, but rather, I want this to be treated and taken into consideration as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I believe Amaprat will say something about it, even though we are taking questions for the Member of Parliament. Okay, we have more people. All right.
Thank you for this opportunity. I would like to give a suggestion. We are all sitting here because you have been given the opportunity. There are other people out there in various villages that do not have this opportunity, even to the internet or phone, or even to summits, or even some of these NGOs going out there to reach out to them. If there's anything that we can do to enrich or reach to those people so that they would also have the opportunity to take part in these programs to help with the woman empowerment and then in bringing up our country as a whole. Thank you.
Honorable, would you want to take them as they come, or you would want to have all of them and then you tackle them?
All of them.
All right, then. So we still taking more questions. Okay, I see hands here, there.
Thank you very much, Honorable, for your presentation. My name is Francis Kofi Kluche. I was impressed when Honorable said we are all political animals. And I also believe politics is for all, but being too partisan, that is making the difference. Because I belong to this party, when the wrong thing is going on, I don't want to utter a word or I don't want to say anything. But if we, the youth, can understand that for a change, we all can come on board for a positive change, irrespective of our political parties, we can do a better thing. And also to say, to ask this question, that this saying that change is good, but why do people hate change? It's a question. People always hate change. Anytime you want to stand in your small area to make a positive impact, people stand against you, people fight you. I want to ask Honorable, how do you overcome these fights or these attacks, even though you want to make changes? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I think at this point you can answer the questions,
Okay.
then we'll take more.
Okay, so I'll start from the last one. Fighting for change is not an easy battle. It is not a walk in the park. It is not child's play. You have to be ready to be attacked, to be vilified, to be called names, and sometimes you may even pay the ultimate price. So you must be determined, you must be resolved to go all out. And you shouldn't be a rebel without a cause. You should pick your battles. Form a coalition. Let those you are fighting for know that you are genuinely fighting for them and not for yourself. And they will rally behind you. They will support you. So it's about picking the issues, identifying them, and having an understanding, a deeper understanding of how those matters arose. If it's, say, discrimination against widows, what is the anthropology? How did that come about? And how do we fight and succeed? Where do we start from? Is it awareness? Is it protest? What is the end game? Is it legislation? Or do we even want to demand change in leadership at certain levels? So those are the reflections that must go on. But you must also, at the end of the day, be someone who is deeply rooted in philosophy. You see, the reason why I think that the current generation probably does not really compare to, and I even add my own generation, to the generation of old, is that something drove them. When you read in Nkrumah's book, you could tell what his philosophy is, what his worldview. Discrimination I'm talking about. And you said it beautifully, that when the spouses of men pass, men are not treated that way. In our society, in this day and age, will you believe it? If you are an old lady and you are poor, you are a witch. So we still have witches' camps. Can you believe that? I've never believed why all these years we can't just pass legislation banning all these camps, outlawing it, making it illegal. Sometimes they tell you, oh, you don't understand the cultural nuances. This woman might be stoned to death. They might be killed. Let anybody dare. Let us begin to arrest, prosecute, and imprison for life. Because these days I'm beginning to join those who say that we should abolish the death penalty. So if not that I have become a new convert, I would have even said I don't mind if we hang those people who kill the old ladies. But now I am for abolishing the death penalty. So the strictest of sanctions. And nobody would dare do that. Nobody would dare do that. And the ignorance, the illiteracy in our society is also a problem. And people think that certification, degrees, you have no idea how many master's holders, PhD holders, go to these so-called men of God, these charlatans. We all read the Bible. And I'm surprised that we fail to read the part where Christ warns us that in the last days, false prophets will abound. We think that anybody who says he's a pastor is genuine. False prophets will abound. They tell you that it's your old poor mother in the village, and you believe it. And you ostracize the poor woman. So there are so many of these things. And it happens, poor men, they enjoy sympathy. But poor women, they deserve to be at the witches' camp. And it's all part of the discriminatory practices that I was talking about. So we need legislation. And those are matters that you can take up. that you can take up. You see, as we speak, the affirmative action bill has not been brought to Parliament. It's still at Cabinet, we are told. It's taking too long. But that continues because the mobilization, the agitation has been virtually non-existent or very low. So all of this tells us that there is work to be done, and that is why movements like the Obaasima Foundation are very, very relevant in our current context, so that we can take these matters up. But we shouldn't only speak against them. Let's take action and let's demand policy and legal reform.
All right, thank you so much. We still have more hands, so we will take some questions.
Thank you very much. My name is Juliet Opong from HONTC, and I thank you all for this summit. It's very, very helpful. But then I would like to ask a question. And my question is that why is it that as youth, even with this technology and this development all over around us, we still have to go through this, let me borrow these words, to whom you know, before you can get an opportunity. Even as women, we have visions, we have ideas, but we are unable to develop them because when you go, as Sister Amma Pratt was talking, she said, unless you go to an office and you meet a male boss, and unless you give yourself, you cannot get the opportunity while you have the skills. So what do we do to be able to overcome all these as youth and as women too? Thank you.
All right, I think we have one more, then we can wrap up. Her, and then you give it to the other one.
On the left. On your left at the back.
Oh, let
On
me
your
help
left
you.
at the back. On
There's
your left.
this young lady. Hello. You wanted to speak. Do you still want to talk? You did. Okay. So then, Kweku, we can continue. Yes. Yeah. Yes, please. Her. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Please, I want to ask two questions. I want to know why when a new government sets in, they come abolishing the old or previous government's policies and rules and build a new one. We used to have those conversations as kids, but now I've gotten the opportunity. I want to ask and know how that one is being built, because it's like when they come and they have good measures. If there's a change in government, whatever that they have built previously, they didn't finish. Another person comes to abolish or start over. So it's like we're in the same cycle. And the second question I want to also ask is about you, the politicians. How do you make these rules and laws for women? Because I know women, we are the majority in Ghana. But way back, checking my mother even in the house, I always blame the NCC, that's the National Civic Education. They don't do education down to the roots. It's only on GTV you see them doing some educations on maybe election. They will speak in the different languages, but I don't see that. Way back in Mauko, we went for a program for girls, but I realized the girls that were brought, they spoke a word to them, and we, the students in SHS, they were speaking English. These are JHS 3 girls. But I was expecting them to be also enlightened so that they also at least speak and share. But when I went home asking my mom, she told me, this is what we also saw. So that's what we are in. So I want to know, is the civic education people responsible for discerning information down to the root or not? Thank you.
Good one. Thank you. Right, I think you still want to take more. Okay, Honorable wants to. So we still have more hands at the back. Kweku, let's see if we can take 2 or 3 more. And call it a day. 2, 1. All right.
Thank you for the privilege. My name is Bind the Chiefless from HT. I'm in to make an input and a suggestion as well. As we all know, we are in for Obaasima Summit, which is mainly female-based. As to what one of our colleagues made an input to, that no one don't buy into the idea of the summit. Yes, it is true. we need to have at least a general headline that will generalize the summit. Say, uniting both sex, and a subject as the Obaasima Summit. I believe in this. Other sex, which is the male sex, will buy into the idea and come to the program. Because we are the people who need whatever you are giving to the females. Without us, we can't abide by whatever they are telling us. Because there is this culture at homes where the males are the head of the family. So we need this as much as the females need it. So we need to be here. Our numbers must be high. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon. I am Lily Azuma, a student of the University of Health and Allied Sciences, and I'm reading physician assistantship. Before my question, I would like to commend the Honorable for the health interventions he has carried out so far. But then I want to find out if there will be an empowerment after here. Can you kindly take up some people to influence our health? Let's say in our community, we have health coordinating officers who do a similar activity as we are doing here. So after this program, we would not like this movement to end here. So can you take up some of these influencers so that they can carry out the good work in the school community so that this good project won't end here? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm sure that is the last one. Okay. Hello.
Okay, so
Unfortunately, we will not have the time to take all the questions. Maybe the Honorable Minister can use his power to this side. All right, let's take what we have. Honorable, can we answer so far? Or you want us to take everything?
yeah, let's. Well, it's up to them if they.
Okay, so let's go as they come. So maybe you can answer these ones, and then we can take
just
some more.
one from this
All
side.
right, Kweku, please let
Okay,
the Honorable Minister.
All right, so let me respond to
Right.
this, and then so I'll start from the last one. The young lady who was talking about influencers, identifying some allies who we can collaborate with. It's a good suggestion, and I think that I prefer practical influencers than, again, what you guys are doing on social media. These days, it all depends on your following. If you have a lot of followers, then automatically it makes you an influencer. But I have a lot of problems with that. You know, you may have a lot of followers just because probably you make people laugh and you are some comic relief to them. But it may not necessarily mean that you have a certain depth, a certain understanding of issues, that you can be helpful to anybody, you know. So it shouldn't be a numbers game. I've never been one to fall for that, you know, where an influencer is just because he has millions of followers. And you go and check their timeline and it's a lot of hogwash, you know. I hear the latest trend is Father Bernard. I mean, of all the problems in our country, you know. As for your generation, you are very fascinating, you know. So if such a person is able to create all kinds of videos and memes out of that and generate some following, it does not automatically mean that a person will be a positive influencer for the national good. So let's collaborate, and it should not just be about the number of followers on social media. Then the lady who asked the two-in-one question, the first one about why governments abandon projects when they take over. If you read our constitution, the directive principles of state policy, it's stated clearly. Governments are enjoined to continue the projects of their predecessors. Unfortunately, it doesn't always happen. There are a number of factors for that. Governments come in with their own manifestos. They believe that that's the mandate they have from the people. They want to prioritize that, focus on that. And then sometimes there is a petty, small-mindedness. If I finish my opponent's project, it's my opponent who gets the credit. You know, you won't believe there are some projects that have not been commissioned today just because it didn't finish during the time of my predecessor. That's how petty and small-minded. It looks like politics is rather degenerating. It's so sad. Kwame Nkrumah could come from Nkrofo and win a seat in the middle of Accra. It didn't matter that he wasn't gone. It didn't matter. But today, they even want to know the entire family tree. Who was your great-grandfather? Did he really live in the village? Did he come from there? So minors are becoming majors, unfortunately. And these are all the ills with our society, our politics, our governance arrangement, which you, the youth, because the future that you deserve, some of these things must not be there. And you must make it clear from hence. Because really, even in terms of cost saving, protecting the public purse, can you imagine if, since we started changing government in 2000, we just finish existing projects? Because when you abandon the project, it runs into ruin. It becomes dilapidated. You will have to spend more. Sometimes you have to even demolish. If it's a road project, you may have to scrape everything that has been done and redo the road, retar. The financial loss. Think about it. And how much of that money could have saved us in all the places that don't have potable water, don't have hospitals and all of that. So a lot of these things associated with the old way of doing politics must change. And I'm glad that your generation is identifying some of these things. And it has to stop. The small-mindedness, the pettiness must stop. Then the second aspect of your question, which relates to the NCCE, the National Commission for Civic Education. I was president of the Civic Education Club in Presec, and I know that historically, what has been the challenge of the Civic Education Club is low funding. It has not received the funding that it deserves. And in recent times, I have been reflecting. You see, it was Plato, I think, who said that he who controls the media controls the mindset of the people. If we must even address some of the East people, and I'm battling them in my constituency, a little growth is fibroid, they go to a pastor who deceives them that it's a witch who is doing it, or it was supposed to be a baby which has been arrested by some demons, and then they take them to a prayer camp, and by the time you go to rescue them, it's too late. They are dying. Public health. So the space is being filled by charlatans who are polluting the airwaves. So I agree with you that we must pay attention to NCCE. We must increase their funding. But most importantly, I think that we need a broadcasting law in this country that will try to regulate. You see, is it chapter 12 of our constitution, which guarantees media freedom. So we've taken that freedom, overboard. And that's what we do in this country. Elsewhere, they have public service broadcasters who must necessarily do public service broadcasting. And public service broadcasting is different from the broadcasting that is just for eyeballs and just for money, where people will come and advertise. So if you've noticed these days, so-called celebrity presenters, the media houses are trying to poach them, because people know that once it is person A hosting the show, it doesn't matter the content. People just want to see her face or his face. They will watch it. And it's all become followers and how many people are watching and all of that, not the quality of the content. And no society develops. You cannot develop if your people are not enlightened, if your people are not educated. So that's how I respond to that. There was another question about how men can get involved and whether the name of the platform shouldn't change. I disagree with you respectfully. There are already so many things in this world with male names, and the women don't complain. The women don't complain. It's recently even that some of them we are struggling to amend them, like chairman of the occasion. So now we are able to say chairperson. For a long time, men were insisting, it's chairman. And I like how the guns say, chama. you know, they don't want to change it. They don't want to shift, I'm glad that even we are seeing some shift these days. These days, that signpost, men at work. The women rose up elsewhere. They say, why? Is it only men who work? Sometimes you go into that construction going on, and the engineers are women. Those who are supporting are women. So in some countries, it's even been outlawed. You can't go and hoist men at work. You can say people at work. Yeah, if you don't want to say men and women at work. So I think we should learn to accept some of these things. In any case, all of us, don't we get happy and proud when they say our sister is Obaasima, or our mother is Obaasima, or our girlfriend is Obaasima, our fiancé is Obaasima, or our wives are Obaasima. So we all know what it represents, the values and what it connotes and all of that. So I don't think that it should be changed at all. Men should rather be happy to operate under this banner, like some of us are happy to be here. So we can take the last round.
Thank you. My name is Kelvin Bansa, a student at University of Health and Allied Sciences. My question is, we always talk about equality, but why don't we talk about equity? And that's my question.
Well, the question you have asked may sound simple, but it has agitated the minds of a lot of scholars and activists. Do you know, if you read the literature, it started from equality. Then some feminists got very angry and said it should be equity, as you are now advocating. Recently, I was reading some UN papers, and they have moved to equality. That is the latest, that's what is preferred. So I am one person who doesn't like to be bogged down by definitions, technicalities, and all of that. Let's ask ourselves, what is the concept? What is acceptable to us? What is the philosophy? To me, the philosophy, God has given me a daughter and a son. I raise them equally. My daughter doesn't think that my son Indichi is any special or can do anything that she cannot do. Same opportunities, same access to everything. And even I've noticed now that even their sporting activities have become the same. She's playing football these days with him. She's also good with at the console, playing all kinds of male games, and they are getting on very well, and she beats him sometimes. It's very nice. I get excited about that. So the concept really is that we want men and women to be accorded the same respect. Bottom line is all about respect. Stop the discrimination. The same way we will not accept racism. We will not accept you looking down on us. We will not accept you judging us, thinking that we are not fit or we don't measure up to your so-called standard. That is the same thing we are asking that women should be accorded. I mean, the women are not asking for much. They are not saying that they want to take over the world and, if you like, commit genocide, kill all the men. And they haven't said that that's what they want. They have never said that. So I think that we need to, and let us also, in acknowledging that respect, it is beautiful to also appreciate that, as I was saying earlier, that even amongst men, we have variations. We have different, I've told you, all these your stereotypical definitions of who a man is. Macho and can, bring down the China wall. And me, I don't, when it's about macho, I don't go near. I know they'll beat me up. I'm not, me, it's my mouth that is strong, If it's a math contest, that one, I'll go there some. But take debate out. So you should know that we all have our strengths, our usefulness, and our various, tasks that we must perform to keep the human race going. If you take the reproductive system, for example, so far, despite all of what is going on in the LGBTQ space, I haven't heard that the scientists have been able to make men birth babies. I haven't heard that. So that's a God-given role that women should be allowed to perform. And I don't think that that role should limit a woman in any way. In any case, if you read the history, there are 2 female presidents who gave birth while in office. It didn't stop them from working. Banato Bhutto of Pakistan and Jacinda of New Zealand. They gave birth in office. There was celebration in their country. They were all happy. Queen Elizabeth, how many times did she give birth sitting on the throne? Did it affect her leadership? So they are God-given roles. No matter what you and I do as men, we cannot. No matter how many times we go under the knife. At least now, all kinds of crazy things are happening in the scientific arena. But for now, it's still a natural God-given role for women. And it does not, as it were, prevent them from performing their other duties. So it's all about respect, mutual respect, according everybody the kind of respect they deserve. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable. It's been a very long and insightful day. You don't agree with me? Yeah, I saw some of you have done the following on Instagram. Yeah, I was going to buy data to check. Honorable said we shouldn't buy data, so I cannot buy data. Yeah, for useful courses.
And this is one of
the useful ones.
Yes.
I'll check the 20 people and come and announce you.
Right, better.
Don't worry. All right, I'll call upon Beatrice. We have a couple of presentations to do to our speakers. So the Women's Commissioner of this campus, Beatrice Akadiri, will do the presentations, coupled with the closing remarks as we sign out. Big well done to you, Beatrice. You've done immensely well. To you and
Before I give my closing remarks, I would like to present these to our wonderful guests here. So I would like to invite the President to join me as I present these citations. So first, I would like to read what I have here. So, citation in honor of Amaprat, Executive Director, Obaasima Foundation, General Manager, Pan-African TV. We want to express our sincere gratitude for your valuable contribution to Obaasima Summit, Volta Region Campus Tour. Your expertise, invaluable contribution, and dedication were instrumental in making this program a great success. We would have not achieved our goals without your support, and we are truly grateful for your time and effort. May your kindness and generosity continue to touch and inspire others, and may you be blessed abundantly in all your endeavors. Thank you once again. We appreciate you. May God bless you.
Hello, with everybody for you. Party just shake.
Blakwa. Yes.
Everywhere. Yeah, the TikTokers. Yeah, I see all of you. Thank you all for hosting us. Islamic University, thank you for joining us. Central University, Mauli Senior High School, you guys have been phenomenal. Thank you to every single person for making this here, and our mothers for making the inputs that you actually made. Your presence have been amazing. Thank you all for joining us, and we'll meet again on Facebook, Instagram, and TV. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you.
More music on trendybeats.com.